We'll be back with the stories in a bit. So the Bank of Ghana has indicated that it will not hesitate in withdrawing the licenses of any bank found to be complicit in checking fraud. This coming on the back of rising fraud cases in the banking sector. Dr. Joseph France tells Joy Business they're committed to checking this issue.
You can lose your license if you have consistently and blatantly and unrepentantly commit the same fraud or the same anomaly, continue to do that. You can lose your license for that. And so yes, you can if there is a need to withdraw your license for bad behavior or disregard to the financial system. Why not? We'll take your life because your behavior can jeopardize the financial system, and we'll not countenance that.
Someone said that maybe the Bank of Ghana would dare not do that in the fear of not compromising the stability of the entire bank. That is just on the books.
The Bank of Ghana will withdraw your license, put in the necessary measures to ensure that runs seamlessly. And so it doesn't, because we look at it, and if your behavior will affect the financial system, why not? We sanction you, but like I'm saying, is proportional. The sanction will be proportionate, and it must be in accordance with law. And it must be in accordance with the regulations that we have put out there. We will not just stand up and sanction you. We will go through the due process and sanction you accordingly.
Why are you not naming and shaming? I got from your interaction that yes, we've sanctioned these individuals, banks individually. Maybe other markets. I remember recently Wells Fargo. I mean, in other markets, even with just a fraction of malpractice, they are heavy on you on the fines, and they tell the whole world that Wells Fargo is still indulging in practices that led to the collapse of the financial crisis. Maybe you are not. Why are you not naming and shaming?
Well, like I told you, we get the institutions to name themselves by putting out the sanctions, monetary sanctions, in their financial statements that they put out there. So yes, the institutions themselves will put out that we have been sanctioned by the central bank. So yes, that is where it starts. If it gets serious, then other serious measures will be taken against an institution.
Something that you could look at in the future, just like what is done in the other markets.
It's still done. It's still done, except that you need to look at your markets, and you need to look at the institutions that you are dealing with. You need to also, you don't kill an ant with a sledgehammer. You know, there should be proportionality in actions that you take, so that your action itself does not compromise the whole financial system. That is not to say that you want to renege on some of things that you yourself have put in there, but you want to do it so that you don't compromise your own system.
So do I get from that now it's a requirement that if you sanction George UFA Bank, I'm supposed to identify that in my P&L or my account? When did this start? Because I knew that there were talk about it. So now, if you sanction me when I'm doing my financials for 2021, I should identify in the line items that I'll sanction 20 million Ghana cedis as a regulatory sanction.
Yes, you have it there. Liquidity sanctions are there. That you note it. As far as you have, when you have your financial statements, you have very important things like your capital adequacy ratio, your MPLs, and what have you. Over there, you see sanctions, and you see the amount.
And when did this start?
Long ago. I mean, for at least I must say for some 3-4 years now, all financial statements, all banks are supposed to publish their quarterly financial statements, and these are the annual audited financial statements also have them.
Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission says it will this week issue new capital requirements and guidelines for market players. This is part of several measures being implemented to help better regulate and sanitize the industry. There's more in the following report.
According to the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Reverend Daniel Tete, this is part of additional measures being instituted to avert development that led to liquidation of 53 fund management firms last year.
Minimum capital required for fund managers, till now or until we pass our new licensing requirements is 100,000 Ghana cedis. 100,000 Ghana cedis, George Yafi and Co can easily come up with it. So we are looking at making the licensing regime more robust. So we'll be issuing out the guidelines in the coming weeks. We're also strengthening our supervision on-site and then off-site. We are looking at the risk-based supervision framework, to make it tighter. Then finally, we have been operating a very manual system, and we have also launched a digitization program to make it easy and quicker for the market operators to submit information to the Commission and also make the analytics of the information that's submitted quicker and faster, throwing up early warning signals and all of that. So basically, we're looking at how to tighten our capacity as a regulator to maintain that oversight of the industry.
Reverend Ogami has also highlighted other measures that is being taken to protect investors' funds and address issues that has to do with confidence building.
We have come out with conduct of business guidelines that addresses some of these issues in terms of how the operators are expected to operate. Then we can also talk about governance issues. It was clear that some of these firms, their boards were not effective, both from composition of the boards to even operationalization of the boards, in the sense that boards are effective when they, for instance, have subcommittees. You find that was missing. And then in our space, fund managers are supposed to work with investment committees to, if you like, assess the investment proposals made by the fund managers. That was also not there. So again, we have the conduct of business guidelines will deal with board compositions. And so on and so forth.
Let's also talk about digitizing the entire operations of the Commission that would help market operators to submit information to the regulator and also help with remote supervision of the entire market. It appears the Commission is also going ahead with these reviews after securing the necessary legal backing from Parliament and the Attorney General's Department. Meanwhile, the first batch of payment by the Registrar General Jimama Wari will start from the last week of this month and will cover those who place funds, the 22 fund management firms that she's gotten court's approval to liquidate. According to the Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, Reverend Daniel Tete, the payment to be done through a special purpose vehicle that will see investors receiving cash and the rest placed in the mutual fund.
And then the country realized about 26 billion cedis in domestic taxes as at the end of August this year. This is above the target set by the Finance Minister. The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Amishade Wusu Amma, told journalists the overall target of more than 42 billion cedis will be met despite the disruption caused by the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic.
Target or budget for this year, as per the Minister's presentation, was 47.2 billion. As at the mid-year, the targets were revised downwards to 42.7 billion. As at the end of August, GRA has collected 26.7 billion. And if you compare the 26.7 billion based on the mid-year review, I must say that we are above the mid-year review target as at end of August. We are determined to definitely, I can assure that we will meet the mid-year review target. But we are aiming that we should be able to go beyond the mid-year review target. And we are putting the necessary strategies to ensure, because all these initiatives, in addition to the effective debt collection, is increasing our revenues. And in the COVID-19 period, and our own analysis of some of the countries, and recently I had a discussion with the African tax administrators with my colleague on the conference call, and he was he was asking, what is your shortfall? And I said, as of June, our shortfall was 6%. Then said, oh, you are the only one of the few countries I've heard that have such a small shortfall in COVID-19. And that as at August, if you say that we are closing to our target, he was surprised that we are. So most countries are talking about 20%, 30% reductions in revenue. But we think that these initiatives is helping us not to have the huge deviation that will have occurred.
The Commissioner General was speaking in an engagement with the media on the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on revenue mobilization. According to him, the mining and telecoms sector has recorded the highest revenue collection so far.
Whatever minerals that or royalties that has to be paid continually is coming through. And I must say that because of the increase in the price of gold, I mentioned in my presentation, from the $1,500 to almost $2,000, there is an increase in revenue, both from the corporate income tax from the mining sector as well as from the royalties.
The Securities and Exchange Commission says it will this week issue new capital requirements and guidelines for market players. Now, before we come to that, let's take this other story. The National Insurance Commission, in collaboration with the police, has again blown the lid off another unlicensed insurance brokerage firm operating under the name Family Fountain Insurance Brokers. This company, according to the NIC, has been operating for some time now as an intermediary with the support of a direct underwriting company. My colleague Bismarck Usa has more in the following report.
Chief, take your coffee.
According to the NIC, the suspects, whose techniques are perpetrated at the premises of the Ayalolo Transport Terminal in Accra Central, have been serving as an intermediary between the unsuspecting insuring public and a non-licensed underwriting insurance company. They are currently under police investigations and, if found culpable, would face criminal prosecution according to law. The discreet approach employed by the Special Investigative Unit of the NIC and the police on September 9, 2020 led to the suspects unknowingly disclosing their mode of operations after weeks of surveillance and trailing. Armed with conspicuous information, the suspects were picked up by the police. The Deputy Commissioner of Insurance, Michael Ando, had this to say.
Well, the National Insurance Commission has a monitoring unit that surveys the market and monitors these developments. And so that unit has been scanning the environment and making sure that we have only licensed entities to sell genuine insurance products to the market. This is the work of this unit that led to the uncovering of this unlicensed insurance brokerage.
Mr. Ando also indicated that illegal sale of insurance in the country could lead to locked up premiums and also non-payment of claims.
This could lead to a whole lot of problems. This could lead to mis-selling. This could lead to selling for companies that don't exist. This could even lead to defrauding the public because these are unlicensed people and only heaven knows what kind of insurance companies and what kind of entities they are operating for. So this has very serious consequences for everybody, including the insuring public.
The NIC says it will investigate the underwriting company involved and would apply the relevant sanctions as stipulated under the Insurance Act 2006, Act 724 of the National Insurance Commission, which makes it a crime to engage any unlicensed insurance intermediary. The Commission is therefore advising the general public to report the activities of any nefarious and suspicious character or company trading or soliciting for insurance business without due authorization to either the police or the nearest NIC office.
Now, the use of technology for many sectors of the economy due to the outbreak of COVID-19 has exposed Ghana's lack of available skills in the sector. The sector, which has become the leading employer, has placed a huge demand on the government to improve upon skills training in the country. To this end, the Minister for Communications, Eslosu Ekofo, has begun a call for some process to ensure that the skills gap in the sector is bridged. The Volta Regional Director of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Alexander Nketia, is making a passionate appeal to hoteliers, especially in the Volta region, to reduce hotel rates to boost domestic tourism. Speaking at the 15th Volta Region Tourism Awards, Mr. Nketia said the tourism sector remains the most impacted by COVID-19, and the need for hoteliers to showcase different rates for international and local tourists. First, Duho has more in this report.
The hospitality and tourism industry in the Volta region held its 15th Tourism Awards under the theme Growing Tourism Beyond the Return. This, according to the tourism director in the region, is to help them strategize to boost domestic tourism, as expectations from international tourism remains low. He believes hoteliers as major stakeholders should have separate rates for domestic and international tourists to encourage many people from across the country to take part in tourism.
Unfortunately, all tourism businesses had to come to a standstill. The loss of jobs, income, foreign exchange taxes, and livelihood, even in some cases death. Thankfully, Ghana has been and is still sailing through very well, and with the gradual easing of restrictions, it is hoped things will turn out well. The Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and the Ghana Tourism has always been the position to position Ghana's tourism industry on the global market as a preferred destination while deepening domestic tourism. The pandemic has and would for a short while distract international tourism. It, however, also offers the industry the opportunity to begin to deepen, widen, and encourage new domestic tourism, events, activities, and perhaps encourage local participants, including the hoteliers, to provide rates and packages that meet the domestic tourist pockets. There's a need to strengthen the capacity of various industry stakeholders, including the public sector agencies, GATOP members, both financially and technically, to be able to introduce the needed innovations, especially in the use of digital technology, to propel the industry. Also, incentive packages for workers to travel and see their beautiful God-given country. The incentives could be in the form of vouchers, which could be redeemed at the tourist sites, hotels, restaurants, tour operators, etc., so that individuals could engage in domestic tourism.
The Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecher, used the occasion to charge citizens to use their networks to invite more people to visit the beautiful natural sites in the region. According to him, the residents need to first prioritize and also invest in the tourism potentials in their localities to make it appealing for all.
Tourism plays an important role in the socio-economic development of the region and the nation as a whole through the provision of employment and income generation activities. The Volta region is blessed with ancient European forts, great flora and fauna, pristine beaches, rolling mountains in numerous waterfalls, unique monkey sanctuary, mysterious caves, mouth-watering and tasty cuisines, rich cultural festivals, traditional rites, some of the most powerful shrines, and above all, the rare hospitality of the people. These together constitute a very rich attraction tapestry for tourism development and promotion. We can therefore say without a doubt that our region is a tourism hub of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, admittedly, the development of our dear country, and for that matter our region, could be accelerated if tourism is given the needed attention. Tourism continues to contribute substantially to the gross domestic product of Ghana.
In all, 19 institutions and individuals were awarded on merit for their performance in the industry over the 2019 year under review, while 7 others were honored for their contributions over the years. Some participants who took part in the celebration believes it's time the Volta region's tourism potential is marketed to the world to double the numbers from the 2019 figures of 42,712, which raked in some 22,094 Ghana cedis. Fred Duho reporting for Joy Business.
Trade Minister Alan Chomanteng has inaugurated a 5-member board of the Ayum Forest Product Limited. According to the Trade Minister, the government's unusual involvement in the inauguration is due to its main responsibility of enabling collapsing factories thrive under the One District One Factory initiative.
If we are interested as a country in industrial transformation, then obviously we need to take another look at this sector. But in doing so, we don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. We now want to add value to our natural resources. And we believe that AYUM is one of the few strategic companies that is well positioned to fulfill and realize this objective of value addition.
You're still watching Business Live, and on to our next story. The leading, and in fact our last story, leading West African-based agro-products exporter and supplier Kingdom Exim says it has invested up to 1 million cedis in Ghana's COVID-19 fight. According to the company, the said expenses comprise the provision of PPEs recommended for the fight to many communities across the country. Chief Executive of Kingdom Exim Group, James Rajamani, spoke to Joy Business at the Rotary Club Charter presentation and fundraising ceremony. Bismarck has more.
The Kingdom Exim Group has made donations worth over 1 million cedis, together with other community interventions, by way of providing community-based education for people on how to live their lives to minimize the contraction of the virus. The beneficiaries included the Tema Municipal Assembly, Office of the Tema East Member of Parliament, the Eastern Region, Techiman North District, among others. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive of Kingdom Exim Group, James Rajamani, says the kind gesture is part of his outfit's commitment to impacting lives in the society.
So due to this COVID, we also give it to the community with the mosque, and also we provide all the items. Also food items. So almost now, up to today, we reach almost about 1 million Ghana cedi to support the Ghanaian, our fellow Ghanaians, to be supported and impacted their lives.
All right, and that'll be all for Business Live. I'm Israel. Enjoy your evening.